it's Richard of Richard's Guitars, and today I've got you, I wanted to show you something that's, in fact it's a Sunday afternoon and it was on my mind. I was thinking, when am I going to have time to get this out there and show people? And so it's kind of, it's a really, really important guitar to me that I've sold for many, many years, and really get frustrated that people don't know the full benefits of it. And I think, you know, more people would want one if they got to hear about them. So the guitar is this one here. It's a new finish. This particular one's in a new finish, which either is called Light Burst or it's Cognac Burst possibly. As you will see, it's a bit different. It's slimline, and you may know it's called an A6 Ultra. Now the A6 Ultra it pretty much epitomizes why I love selling Godin guitars. Godin guitars are made in Canada, and they're a brand of guitar that, if you like, they kind of service the needs of professional musicians around the world, I'd say. If you see session players who are paid to play, and I don't mean people who are paid to use a guitar for performance use, like, you know, brands do all the time. Some of the big brands obviously endorse players and pay them to play. What I mean is musicians, real musicians that are out there being paid to perform on quite often behind the scenes. So if you watch Strictly or something like that on a Saturday night and you see the band, I will guarantee you'll see a Godin guitar in there somewhere. And if you see, you know, go and see a live performance like a Saturday night at the whatever, you know, where the Queen watches or something, I'm sure somebody in the band down there will have a Godin guitar or a theatre performance of some kind, because Godin guitars very often have properties which are quite unique, very often aimed towards performance players. So for example, this guitar here, so let's get back to this, I don't want to go off too much of a tangent. So why is this guitar used by people? It's called a hybrid guitar, and it gives you two different kind of sounds. It's aimed at electric guitar players because it has the feel of an electric guitar. It has the magnetic front neck pickup here of an electric guitar, but also has a piezo under saddle pickup going on here. So it's also an acoustic sounding guitar. If I put on no sound at all, hopefully, there's going to be no sound now. Now this is chambered. It's got a solid top, but it's very, very thin. This depth here, what, an inch, couple of inches. So it's very thin. And if you have a very thin body with no sound hole, you're going to heavily reduce the amount of feedback that you'll get when you're performing. One of the big problems with a big open sounding guitar, which has got loads of volume acoustically, is it's hell on earth to plug in and perform, because it keeps on woofing and feeding back. So if you're in a position where you want to do a lot of acoustic work but performance based, this could be an ideal guitar, even though it's got nickel strings, because let's just hear it, we'll hear it. So this is what it sounds like acoustically. So now strangely, even though it's quiet, it's actually got quite a nice acoustic voice. So there is a voice there. There is a volume. You could. I always call it silent practice. I could sit here and play this guitar all day long. I could play it and hear it as long as there weren't kids shouting, but it's quiet enough not to wake anyone up if you're in bed, people are in bed around you. So I call it silent practice. So perfectly lovely, and a lot more acoustic voice than many semi-acoustics that you might buy, certainly cheap ones. Because remember, this has got a solid spruce top. Now I've said that, I think this is cedar. This one might be cedar. So it's a solid cedar top. So it's got a solid top and wonderful neck feel. They have what's called an ergo. All of the Godin guitars that I know of have what's called an ergo cut neck. So the neck is very soft around the edge, Doesn't feel mass-produced. Doesn't have a clinical feel. It has a lovely rounded edge to the fretboard. So it's got a very played-in feel, very comfortable. Not a modern kind of angular feel to it. It's got a very soft, natural feel. Satin. The back neck, the back of the neck is satin. So there we go. Acoustically, not loud, but perfectly sweet and lovely. So let's bring in some acoustic sound now. Okay. Now then, this is where the fun starts. Now, call me. Amazing, it's really great. So anybody who wasn't watching this would hear that, I believe, and hear a full-on electroacoustic guitar. Absolutely an electroacoustic guitar. So this is great. So you've got an electroacoustic guitar that isn't going to give you any feedback problems. It feels kind of like an electric guitar. It's a lot of players' dream guitar. They just don't know it's there. They don't know it exists. It really is quite an unknown quantity. Very few people know what this guitar is when I show it them. And like, oh really? Wow, really? And then they plug it in and go, my God, that's just what I need in my set. So here's why. Let me show you. So that's the acoustic guitar. I'm going to now swip it off, and I'm going to put the electric guitar. So, now then, what you're hearing now that sound now is coming from the electric guitar amp. And the reason being is I've got two inputs, and so the electric signal is coming out the electric guitar amp, and the acoustic signal is coming out, obviously, the acoustic amp down here, this Lakers amplifier here. So now I could, let's say for example I want to roll off some of the treble and get a really warm, whoop, no, that's not going to give me a really warm sound. So take the treble off. I'm going to have to remember my own, yeah, that's the volume, electric I know I can still hear the acoustic guitar, so I've done something wrong. So you're gonna have to excuse me while I work out what I've done wrong, because I know I can hear the acoustic in that. Bear with me. Yeah, you live and learn every day. I've just learned something new about a guitar I've been selling for years. Obviously all the multi-acts and the ACS model, they're all different. They all have very similar controls and work in similar ways. But on this occasion, I was completely wrong. So I thought that if we look at this here, on here, basically this bottom control here, I thought was a blend which brought in the electric guitar signal from the. Well, I thought that was a blend from electric to acoustic, and then there was a volume control here, but I was wrong. I'd forgotten. So this is the control for the electric. So the bottom slider is the volume control for the electric, and the top one is the volume control purely for the acoustic. I am pretty certain I'm correct in saying that when you pull the cable out the bottom, this first one here becomes then it becomes blendable. So when you remove that cable, everything goes through this one cable, and at which point I'm pretty certain what I just said was correct. But when you plug in the second cable, everything becomes separated. So we have a volume control. So now I'm going to show you the electric guitar. So this is the electric guitar sound now, okay? Where are we going to go? So let's see again the G. there we go. We're in an electric guitar mode. So, okay. So when we're electric guitar mode, we can roll up the tone, take off the treble. So take the. We're electric. So what we can do now is we can have, if we want that electric guitar, let's get that jazzy sound going now. Now we can bring in a bit of the acoustic sound behind it. So. Acoustic and electric sound in there. If we bring in the overdrive here, you'll be able to hear the. Let's just take out the electric. So we take out the acoustics, and now we just have the electric. See it more as a rhythm. I think the guitar is really designed, really suited to somebody who is really predominantly playing a combination of acoustic and then wanting to, some secondary electric guitar lead maybe, but more rhythm control and rhythm work, whether it be boosting. For example, if we put that back on the acoustic, if we put the electric back on the clean signal, I think where this guitar works brilliantly is powering an acoustic signal in some way, whether it be with some more electric guitar or with a bit of neck pickup, a bit of bass. So we have the acoustic, but now we can bring in the electric with a bit of extra bottom end. So this electric sound now is just backing up our acoustic sound. The acoustic qualities, the acoustic voice is really ringing through. It still sounds like an acoustic guitar, but it's got bags more welly to it. And no feedback. So I'm going to put all the electric signal in now. You wouldn't really notice it. But that warm, fatter neck pickup sound is just bringing depth to what was already a great acoustic sound. That. And bearing in mind, if I want extra bass out the acoustic, there's loads in there. I mean, I can bring up that bass control, like it's the EQing on it's incredible. Full bass now. Massive amount of bass on there. So the EQing on the for the acoustic side is superb. Make it a bit more flatter, bring in the electric again. So there we go. So it's just a wonderful hybrid guitar. I've completely screwed up that whole demonstration, but that's all part of what it is behind the scenes. I'm just showing you stuff, and I don't want it to be too scripted. So it's you can have to take the warts and all. I have to. So sorry about the mix-ups, but hopefully that gives you an idea. I see it predominantly as somebody who wants to have acoustic neck jazzy sounds, but then with acoustic bright tonality added to it. Martin Taylor does it a lot, so that kind of thing could work well for somebody. And then obviously rock rhythm I see as a really great aspect. It's a bit of overdrive, bring in some acoustic sound, have that like almost like a layering but overdriven chordal work with acoustic. You can never do that normally. And then ultimately it's just a brilliant performance electroacoustic guitar that if you want to give it a bit more welly, you don't want it too bright and you want to maybe get a bit of extra fullness and tone without it giving you loads of overdrive problems. That's another area where it would sit well as well. So if you've got feedback issues, you've got performance problems, excuse me, take two. If you have problems with feedback when you're playing on stage, this guitar should suit you. Okay, hope that helps. Oh, one other thing. If you've got dodgy arms, I have lots of people who have frozen shoulder, arthritic issues going on, frozen shoulder. This whole time, my hand's just down straight like this. If I was playing on any kind of acoustic now, my shoulder would consistently be kind of more up here. So this guitar is going to give you real freedom and it'll feel very, very comfortable for long periods of time. Also weight, very lightweight, it's not too heavy at all. So if you're looking for an electric guitar that's sort of good for rhythm work, a lot of rhythm, even electric guitar rhythm players would suit this. Even though the acoustic signal, even though it's a piezo, remember a back pickup is really, at the end of the day it's kind of a bright tonality, and if you're looking for something with a bit of bright spark to it, try and forget the fact it's electric. You could plug this through an electric guitar amp completely, and the electric amp would give it the voice more of an electric guitar as well. So very, very versatile. Hope that helps. I'll watch the video over and see if I can dare put it out. Okay, cheers. Bye.